What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. So, there's been a few model runs, not only from the GFS, but from a couple other models that have been depicting a potential tropical system, potentially either heading towards or striking Belize. So, I want to go over this very quickly because I do see some flaws in this, and I want to explain why that is. I want to explain first how these models are depicting this on and how they're running it, and I want to explain the issues that are behind this. So the first one we're going to take a look at, this is the GFS. This is the 12Z from today, which is equivalent to around 7 a.m. Central Time, and on the 16th, it depicts this low pressure system right here, potential of tropical origin, developing, and then kind of intensifying and then making landfall in Belize as either a strong tropical storm or a weak hurricane, probably a strong tropical storm. This is the 12Z, and then it just stays over and dissipates. But the latest model run shows something completely different, actually. Completely different. Let's actually go back a little bit, and we can explain this, because what we're looking at, this is the 18Z, and the GFS is now depicting this thing forming way to the south, close to Nicaragua, developing and rapidly intensifying as it moves up, and kind of developing into a hurricane, and then it clips the coast of Nicaragua. It doesn't make landfall, but it does impact it, then in Honduras, and then it just continues to intensify, and eventually just drops to 979 millibars, and then eventually it makes landfall either in northern Belize or in southern the southern Yucatan Peninsula. So that's essentially what the GFS is depicting with these models right here. And is it possible? Yes. In fact, the GFS isn't the only model that's even depicting such a scenario. There's actually the NAVGEM, which is also depicting somewhat of a scenario right here. We're looking at this thing developing. Well, it is more of a different turn to it. It does make landfall in Nicaragua, and then just tracks through Honduras. It doesn't go out that far enough to really move it out to sea. So this is the GFS is going quite aggressive with this, but the NAVGEM also has this making it landfall as a potential tropical storm. So this is a situation I've been keeping an eye on for the last several hours, but there are a few problems with it, and I want to explain why there is. The first problem is that if you look on the NHC website, there's no new tropical systems expected during the next 5 days. They're not even depicting an area of potential development with this, although that can change. And the next update will be out pretty soon, so that can always change, but I'll be keeping an eye out on it, and if it does change, I'll let you guys know. I'll blend it into my update on Invest 92E as well. So that's basically the situation. So it's not really depicting this. The second issue I'm having with this is that even though this isn't current, and even though this isn't depicting the future, the wind shear is quite unfavorable in this area right here. For example, in this area where it's supposedly going to develop, we're looking at wind shear of potentially 30 to 40 knots right here, and it continues all the way through up into Belize, which, I mean, if it overcomes that, which it's unlikely that it will, it could happen, but it'd be much weaker, similar to what happened with Tropical Storm Alex. But yeah, that's an issue with that. But then again, the wind shear doesn't just stay there forever. It does move off, and the wind shear could weaken to the point where this could happen. But then again, it would have to be the perfect amount of perfect combination for this thing to happen. Do I think it's going to become a hurricane? It could, but the chances of that right now are pretty low, considering that there's wind shear. Although the water is warm enough, if we take a look at it, we're looking at temperatures of 28, 29 degrees Celsius. That's we're looking at temperatures potentially up to 85 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface, and then dropping down a little bit deep. So this scenario is possible, but it's more likely to be a tropical storm than a hurricane, considering that just the situation doesn't really look good for that. I mean, the GFS model is going very aggressive with this, but at the same time, I'm a bit skeptical with this one, because the GFS did depict quite powerful hurricane to hit the United States in a lot of its model runs. So I am quite hesitant with this, but I am a bit more confident that a tropical system could develop in the Caribbean Sea. It is possible, yes. Just the wind shear would have to calm down for that to happen. So this GFS isn't the only model calling for this. Although the GFS is the one that is the most aggressive, like 979. I mean, it's possible if the wind shear goes down. It's possible if the temperatures stay the same in the ocean. But is it likely to happen? Probably not. This is just one model out of a lot of them, and the way I see it, it could make landfall as a tropical storm, at the very most a weak hurricane, but nothing more than that. So I wanted to make this video because I've been keeping an eye on this for the last several hours. So I just wanted to report my findings to you. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather, and I'm hoping I'm doing it with these, as well as talking about potential hazards that could develop and impact land. So I hope you enjoyed that. With that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.